Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host.
This is Sammy, your co-host.
Today is a Conspiracy Cinema episode. I don't know how many episodes I've done, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to older episodes real quick. We'll keep the intro pretty short because I've got tons of notes and old girl's tired. So, I've done some previous episodes. Today we're covering Dr. Sleep. Sorry, this intro's horrible. We're going to do a movie review on Dr. Sleep. Some previous episodes that you might want to check out that are related to the Stanley Hotel, Stanley Kubrick, stuff like that. I did a episode 25. Go check out episode 25. I did a Eyes Wide Shut review, a Stanley Kubrick film. It's about the Illuminati sex parties and stuff. There's an episode 39. You are not going to be able to find that on YouTube. So here's what happened. I did a whole episode called Adrenochrome. It was basically got into Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, got into the Frazzle Drip video that I seen screenshots for. They gave me a strike and took that video off of YouTube, and I threatened lawyers on YouTube, and they put it back up and backed off when I threatened lawyers. And just here recently, earlier this year, they took it back down again and restriked me for it. So, I probably could have fought it and threatened lawyers again, but I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I had it on there for years, I think like 4, almost 5 years, and it was probably the heaviest episode I've ever done. It was covering Hillary Clinton, Frazzle Drip, Adrenochrome.
Stuff they don't want you talking about.
Yeah. The reason I bring this up is because this whole movie that we're about to review is literally about adrenochrome.
Oh yeah.
And loosh. So you'll have to go on Rumble and Spotify to find that. It's episode 39 called Adrenochrome.
So wait, what's loosh?
Loosh is like psychic vampirism, which is what I was going to get into later. I'll get into it. Psychic vampirism. Yeah, I'll explain it later. Let me do this real quick and I'll shut up.
Okay.
Episode 149 we covered. The episode's name is called It, Child Orgy Scene. It's a double feature. It, Child Orgy Scene, and the Stanley Hotel. So I'm not going to do a deep dive on the Stanley Hotel because I've already done it. I'm not going to be a broken record. I did a whole episode on it. Go check those episodes out. Okay, loosh. What is loosh? Loosh it gets into Gnosticism. Which is basically that the God of the Bible is evil. Mm-hmm. Jehovah, he's Saturn. Mm-hmm. He's the demiurge. Mm-hmm. There are lower entities, interdimensional entities called archons.
Yeah. And
these archons steal loosh, which is basically what the elites do.
But what is
I know,
loosh?
I'm getting into that, honey. Hang on. The elites do the same thing that the archons are doing. A lot of people think the elites are like intermediates of, they give us war, they give us famine, they give us disease, they make us suffer, and they steal our negative energy, like siphon it to the archons.
So loosh is just negative energy?
Basically. Like, it's hate, sorrow, depression, hunger. It's an energy source. Yep. So, do you want to give a basic, just kind of outline, like you normally do?
Of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then, Dr. Sleep takes place. I mean, like, So Doctor Sleep takes place years after the original Shining. So it's more story about Danny, the kid.
40 years.
Yeah. It's more about Danny when he was a kid. It shows a little bit of that. Kind of shows that, everybody wonders when you watch a movie sometimes, well, what happens to this character or that character after this event? And a lot of people wondered that, so that's what this kind of explains for it. And it shows how, he becomes an alcoholic and he's trying to hide his shining, not let it shine anymore. And due to his alcoholism, though, he just kept running until he found this town that he just needed to be in. He was in the right place. He was where he needed to be. And, starts getting sober and stuff. And,
he becomes a friend of Bill.
Yeah, and without knowing it, though, too, he's met this young girl who is like him, who can shine really bright. But again, he has no idea that it's, anybody really. He's just like, okay. And when the movie kind of continues on from that point, does some time skips, does 8 years later kind of thing, and then...
Where he's completely sober.
Yeah, he's been kind of working with his gift again. He was working at an old people's home, a hospice home, and helping, the old people pretty much be able to pass on. So that's why he gets called Dr. Sleep, because he helps them go to sleep forever.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's evil people, because you gotta have your antagonists in movies. And they siphon off what I believe, for the sake of the movie, I believe it's pretty much a child's soul. Their shine, their soul. I feel like it's kind of one and the same, really.
Yeah, each child that the caravan, the psychic vampires are seeking, they all have the shine.
Yeah. And
which I'm gonna comment on that here in a minute.
Yeah, so they take kids. I mean, technically they could get that shine from anybody age-wise, but of course,
that's
as
what
they
I was
always say,
into.
children are always the best, because again, we're closer to the children are closer to the
spirit realm.
Yeah, they're closer to that veil.
Mm-hmm.
And so they finally find a decent shine, because they harvest it in a sense. They take some of it and then they actually keep some of it in canisters, so they harvest it.
Yeah.
And they've been running low because technology and things kind of dim our shines. A lot of people don't shine like they used to. So they're hunting for someone. They find a kid all the way in states away, all the way in Iowa. And they, while they're, killing him.
Torturing.
Yeah, they...
Hence the adrenochrome. You have to torture the victim to get the blood adrenalized and get the adrenal gland going to get the adrenochrome.
Yeah, and so... But while they're doing this, the girl that I mentioned earlier, she's much older now. Where she is so powerful, she can feel it. She starts seeing it and is able to watch, not on purpose, but...
Which I'm going to be real quick. You can get adrenochrome from older people. It's just not as potent. They call it dirty adrenochrome. It's like shit. It's like, okay, compare adrenochrome as a drug. It is an actual drug. Compare it to weed.
Yeah, you can get it from China.
Yeah, you can.
From
fishes. From fishes. Yeah, fishes, animals, dogs. They torture dogs and get it out of dogs, puppies. Mm-hmm. The best source is the youth. It's like a bag of weed. Like, you're going to get really dank-ass weed with crystals and red hairs and stuff on it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Purple. And then you can get shake. I'm shake. And I've been, over my years, I've suffered so much trauma that my adrenal gland is like pretty fucking spent. You know, I've seen demons, I've been in like sketchy situations. That's why, honestly, I'm a nervous wreck all the fucking time, because my nervous system is fucked. I've been a psychonaut when I was younger and seen some shit through that. UFO, chased by UFO. I got the shine, you know?
Yeah, you do.
And I've been spent on my... I would laugh if the elites kidnapped me and was like, we're gonna get adrenochrome from you. I'd be like, ha! My adrenal gland is spent, brother.
Yeah.
So, yeah, old people, they're shake, you know? But, go on. Unless you're done.
No, I just gotta think of it. I gotta remember where I was at.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, she can see the kid. She can feel his pain and everything. So she goes and finds Danny after that and is like, hey, like, this is something that's happened. And of course, he's surprised, like, how the hell did you find me? But it's because her shine is really bright. She's really strong. And then, I mean, really, I won't go too much more into the movie so I don't completely ruin the movie.
Okay.
It just, you know, like, kind of goes on from there where they start to have to battle the bad guys.
So that's the basic outline, which obviously any movie review, I should have said it from the get-go, but you guys know. Spoiler alert. So this, I'm going to do a little bit of a backtrack and preamble. I should have done this, but she's always honestly better at outlines more than me. That's why I usually am like, here you go. Pass the football. This is the director, the same director of a movie called Ouija, Origin of Evil. So just a little sneak peek. We're definitely going to have to cover that movie. We watched a movie, and we own it, way back in the day. I think it's just called Ouija.
Yeah, you still have it in the collection.
I don't have that Origin of Evil, though.
No, not the second one, but just the first one, yeah. You have
Okay. Is it the same director, you think?
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think we got the shittier version, because the one we watched was kind of fucking lame.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one that you got.
Yeah, this director is fucking amazing. So I'm like, there's no way it's... Because usually, you guys know, they put out one movie, they'll put out like a bunch of generic versions of that movie, you know? And I think that's what happened. We ended up getting... We're like, hey, that's that Ouija movie. And it's like, it's a Ouija movie, but it's not the one you're thinking. So, if you're a fan of Sixth Sense, The Shine is basically Sixth Sense. And one thing that I liked is, like, when you watch the original first Shining, like, Danny is a special boy. He has the Sixth Sense. And I do like the concept of, it gets into the occult and stuff like that, of, like, people call it, like, chosen ones or indigo children. But I do like on this movie, they, like, okay, the first movie, The Shining, there's the black man that has the shine, and then there's Danny that has the shine, and they can talk telepathically. I do believe that there are people who are just born super spiritually in tune. Like, I'm not trying to, like, brag or be egotistical, but I do believe that I was born with, if you want to call it that, the shine.
Yes, yes.
I've seen UFO, I've seen demon, I've seen apparitions, I've seen orbs.
I have a small shine.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to get into. They reiterate in this movie that everyone technically actually does have the shine. He just says some people are born with it just, like, bursting out of them. And then there's others who, like...
have it but don't know it.
Yeah, and you can tune it. You can tune it and, like, amplify it. If you want to amplify your shine, you can shine out. Mm-hmm. I did like that because I had the same philosophy of, like... Because some people... I hear this all the time, like, with, like, believers, but they're beating themselves down. And I don't like this because it's like I'll hear people go, "Oh, my aunt's psychic. I wish I could be psychic too." And I tell them, I'm like, "Dude, you can. You are. Everyone is. Everyone has the shine." And I've said this to people before. I'm like, you underestimate your power. You know? And I've noticed, like, when I did fortune telling, which I've told you guys about, dude, when I started getting into tarot, I don't fuck with it anymore. Because it gets spooky.
You're really good at it.
Yeah, and the more you do it, you can feel it, you can see it. Like, every 5 minutes, I was, like, reading people without even pulling a deck out. I was reading their thoughts, reading their mind, telling their future.
Didn't you say you did that to Joseph at times?
Yeah, Joseph definitely has the fucking shine. He can read your thoughts and...
Well, I mean, weren't you doing it to him?
Yeah. Yeah. I was doing it to Nikki. I did it to Nikki one time. I was sitting there and we were participating in tobacco and a pipe. And I said, "Man, this reminds me of the glass blowers in Flea Master, Florida flea markets." And she literally just put the pipe down and went, "You literally just jumped inside my fucking head." And it was such a random, like, that's like a diamond in the rough. Like, how could we literally were thinking the same thought of the glass blowers from Hudson, Florida flea master. Like,
to be devil's advocate, though, hadn't you both been to those flea markets? Don't you both know them?
Yeah, but it's such a 1 in a million. It's like,
I feel like it's not, because you both
okay,
have seen them.
Never mind. I was trying to give an example of the shine, but never mind.
I'm not trying to take it down, but like,
yeah, you're good.
I can see where now. I feel like you've had other ones, I'm sure, where you're just like, man, I know.
But the whole point, I was trying to boost you guys up and say that everyone has the shine, and the more you do it, even when you study the occult and fortune telling and stuff, like, you feel it. When you start getting into tarot or divination, you can literally feel it. Like, you start becoming, like, a superhero. As weird as it sounds. Like, that's why I got kind of freaked out, and it became overwhelming for me. That's why I literally don't mess with tarot anymore. I dabble once in a blue moon, but I'm like, it's too spooky. Your life becomes magical. And you can feel it and shit. Like, and I'm a super sensitive guy anyways. I can feel energies and all sorts of shit. If you know, you know. So, Doc, the reason I thought this was interesting... Actually, let's backtrack just a little bit more. This movie is an amazing movie for... friends of Bill, people who are members of Alcoholics Anonymous. So with The Shining, I'm going to keep it short because I already covered this. I don't want to be a broken record, but The Shining, the origin of The Shining, Stephen King was staying at the Stanley Hotel and he got drunk as a skunk at the bar. And on his way back to his room, he got lost in the hotel because he was so fucking drunk. It inspired him to write The Shining. He just immediately started writing it in his head. The Shining is basically the most terrifying thing to him, and the underlying theme is alcoholism. And that's the actual evil, scariest part of The Shining, is alcoholism. And he literally, while writing it, he's like, this is my biggest fear of, like, me. Because he could tell that he was struggling with alcoholism and addiction. And he was like, my biggest fear is that one day I'll kill my wife. Or try to kill my wife and kid. And I'll lose everything. That's the whole message of The Shining. Now, Dr. Sleep is recovery. And it's basically like, yeah, it's the recovery phase. Stephen King is now sober. When he wrote The Shining, he was struggling with alcoholism, and then he got into Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff. Dr. Sleep, he's now sober. So I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous. I haven't been in forever because I haven't found a local place because we just moved and shit. I need to get back into it, honestly. I think everyone should try it, you know, if you're an alcoholic. Fuck, what was I saying? Oh, in Alcoholics Anonymous, we have movie nights. At least the lodge that I was going to, we used to have movie nights. And it's always alcohol-related movies. Yeah, it's all based around alcohol, obviously. This would be a perfect fucking movie for Alcoholics Anonymous movie nights. So, just saying that, anyone can start an Alcoholics Anonymous lodge. You should. And if you do, and you do movie nights, Dr. Sleep, perfect Alcoholics Anonymous movie. The director himself actually was struggling with alcoholism while filming this. And Danny's character from Dr. Sleep, the book, inspired him to become a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. And he actually became sober while filming this movie. So, that's an awesome fucking story for Alcoholics Anonymous. But I just wanted to get into that. Like, if you're a friend of Bill, you're a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, this is a perfect fucking movie for you. It's an awesome fucking movie. So what you got to say? Anything?
No, so far now.
Alright, let me pause for a second. Alright. Sorry, you guys know how I podcast. I don't like dead air, and I just needed a breath and a recoup. So, another little sneak peek. We, right now, are currently doing Leave the World Behind. Give me just a second. We got that much left. We're almost done. I've already had an idea as far as, like, episodes. Because I like doing read-alongs with commentary. And apparently you guys like what we've been doing with Leave the World Behind. We're almost done. When we're done with that series, I seriously want to do Dr. Sleep next. Because it's so conspiratorial. Everyone in the conspiracy community was like, hey, you know, everyone watch this movie. It's about adrenochrome. And the whole time while I was watching it, when I finally sat down and watched it, I was like, oh my god, every conspiracy theorist would love this fucking movie. And I'm like, that's my next series. We're doing Dr. Sleep next after Leave the World Behind. And honestly, a lot of that is ego driven. Yes, I still suffer from ego. I try to do ego death as much as possible, because that's an occult principle that I think is important. My therapist thinks I'm crazy, but that's fine. My ego, this is something that I struggle with. When something is super popular, my ego kicks in and I go, well, then it must not be cool. I'm too cool for that. And I'll watch it and review it like years later. Like Stranger Things. I did not watch Stranger Things until like years later, and I'm like, oh my god, I missed out. That's how I felt with this. I was like, dude, everyone's talking about Dr. Sleep. Must be fucking lame. That's like that punk inside of me, and punk is ego. Yeah. I need to kill the ego a little more. I'm trying, y'all. I'm not perfect. But yeah, if you're a conspiracy theorist, this is the movie for you. So, let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit, pun intended. Doc. He's called Dr. Sleep, and she told you why, so no rehash. This is a reference to, in the movie, The Shining, the first one, the black man who has The Shining also calls him Doc because he likes Bugs Bunny. Now, Stephen King, dude, knows some fucking shit. And I feel like with Dr. Sleep, more than The Shining, he is trying to tell us what's going on with the elites as far as adrenochrome harvesting, as far as loosh harvesting, as far as psychic vampirism. He's called Doc. Danny's called Doc because he likes the bunny. Not Mickey Mouse. Bugs Bunny. Now, this is where it gets weird. The actual makeup, scientifically, the molecule of adrenochrome is shaped like a bunny. And if you've been down the adrenochrome rabbit hole, you know the whole bunny represents adrenochrome, white rabbit, blah, blah, blah. Which is sad because my spirit animal is actually rabbit. And I've covered this before. It actually makes me super fucking sad because I use cartoon images. Like there's been an underlying theme of I'm the white rabbit, she's the deer because that's her spirit animal. And sadly, her spirit animal got demonized with Leave the World Behind. Mine got demonized with adrenochrome. It's like, can you guys stop taking beautiful symbols and ruining them? Like the swirl, that got ruined with pedophilia. That's actually the Fibonacci sequence. The spiral of life, God's signature, they inverted it. Hitler, the swastika, a beautiful fucking symbol, means good luck. They reversed it, made it bad luck. A lot of people think that's why he lost the war. Everything that is beautiful, they invert and destroy.
Cannot have.
Yeah, this is why we can't have nice things. Doc. He's Doc in the first one. He's Dr. Sleep in the second one. Because he puts the people to death.
He helps them to go to sleep.
Okay, so we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Pun intended. Let's first have some fun, though, because you guys know I'm a pervert. You do get to see some side butt from a 20-year-old or something. But, hey, ladies! You get to see, what's his name? Ewing McGregor?
Evan?
I thought it was Ewing.
Evan. I'm pretty sure I was looking at the names as the titles.
Okay. I swear it's Ewing, but she says Evan. Whatever. You know, the dude from Star Wars Episode 1. You get to see his butt. And no homo, but he's got a good body, man. He still looks fucking good. I ain't gay or nothing, but I'm like, you got a cute butt. That's cool. So, for the ladies, you get to see some man butt. I don't know if girls are into butts as much as you, but you'd be surprised. It's 2024, man. I think girls are getting more into the butt scene, you know. Gore porn, because as a horror fan and as a man, an American man, I'm always like, is there nudity? Is there gore porn? At first, I was like, dude, there's like no gore porn in this movie, which I'm not a huge gore porn guy. Like, I enjoy it every now and then, and it was very tastefully done. At first, I was like, there's no gore porn in this movie whatsoever. And then there's like a psychic battle between Abra, the little black girl, and the main villain, which is Rose the Hat, which we'll get into here in a minute. She gets her hand smashed in a filing cabinet and is like peeling back the skin. So I'm like, gore porn! And the whole time I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, it's one of those parts I gotta look away.
It was fucking rough. So you get like one good scene of gore porn if that's what you're into. If you're expecting the whole thing to be gore porn, I don't know why you're expecting that, because with The Shining didn't have really, they had like one gore porn scene with the hag. Speak of the devil, the hag. This is why I say that Stephen King knows, man. He knows what's going on, because the hag is back in this one, the old woman from the bathtub. That's an older reference to the occult of the hag apparition, sleep paralysis, Dr. Sleep. Yeah. Succubus, Lilith, all that shit. As far as the villain is a woman, her name is Rose the Hat. So Rose within itself has a lot of occult meaning, like Rosicrucian, blah blah blah. The hat. She wears the top hat. This gets into definitely voodoo, man. Because I'm an occultist and I've studied voodoo. I used to have a voodoo spell book, but someone stole it from me. The high priest of voodoo wears a top hat and skull face paint. You see this with like Michael Graves of the Misfits used to do that outfit. It is the high priest of voodoo. Like the most intelligent, like master magician of voodoo. And that kind of ties in once again with adrenochrome and shit. Like Hillary Clinton, the WikiLeaks emails, if you actually read those, and she's admitted that she's a practitioner of voodoo. She actually has emailed and shit about how she goes and sacrifices chickens on her property. That gets into that gets into FBI leaked documents of chicken can actually mean little girl, but it could literally mean actual chickens too, because she did say that she is a practitioner of voodoo. And you guys know me, I am super fucking open-minded to almost every spiritual path. But voodoo, I'm not cool with, because you're sacrificing animals and harming them. Santeria, I don't know enough about it. Like, there's a witch that I work with, she practices, like, La Muerte, or whatever it's called. La Muerte. It gets into, like, Santeria, and Santeria dabbles with voodoo. I don't like voodoo. I'm pretty anti-voodoo. And honestly, I'm anti, like, literal Satanism. Like, I don't care if you're Church of Satan or Satanic Temple, because they don't believe in Satan, and they don't believe in harming children. They don't believe in harming animals. But, like, if you're actually sacrificing creatures, as far as human or non-human, if you're sacrificing animals and shit, I'm not cool with that. But I did notice that reference immediately where she wore a top hat the entire movie. Rose the Hat. I was like, ooh, voodoo shit, man. And you definitely get it. Like, it gave me... When I watched the movie, the villains, they're called, what are they called? True Knots?
Something like that.
I think they're called True Knots.
I think I always had trouble hearing that word.
It's basically like a gypsy caravan. And they're all...
Secret society.
Yeah, they're not... It's a cult, basically. And a cult, and occult. They're psychic vampires. They steal the essence of youth. but it reminded me of Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is another book that we'll have to one day cover on the channel. Of just this like ragtag gypsy caravan, basically, because that's the villains in Something Wicked This Way Comes. I don't know if that was Stephen King like tipping his hat, doing a nod. Could be that's Ray Bradbury too, which he wrote Fahrenheit 9/11. 9/11. It's about book burnings and kind of like 1984. A lot of deep shit, man, deep shit. But they call the essence steam. That's their lingo.
Yeah.
Now, numerology. I don't really know much about. I know little to nothing about numerology. I truly do honestly need to get into numerology. 19. There's a kid who gets his steam stolen. He gets kidnapped and his steam stolen. These are the 3 numbers that stood out to me. If you're a numerologist or someone who practices gematria, whether it's Greek or Hebrew, I wrote these down specifically for you. So if you're a numerology guy, 19 was the kid's baseball team number. He gets kidnapped after a baseball game, and they specifically keep pointing out number 19. 19. I don't know what that means. You can look that up. I-95 is another one that spotted out, was specific to me, of the kid was kidnapped on I-95, and they specifically were like, I-95. So 95, 19, and then of course room 237. Let me pause. So we hit the 30-minute mark. She's starting to wear down. I hope this was a good review. I'm going to end it with this, though, and wrap it up. Which one's better, The Shining or Doctor Sleep?
I don't know. I feel like they're both good in their own right because they were both made in different times with 2 different directors. So I feel like they're both good, honestly, in their own right.
Equal?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with the same answer. It depends on which one you're in the mood for.
Yeah, I feel like they each have their own kind of tone a little bit. So it just depends on which one you want to see.
So, both of them are super long. If you're expecting, that's another reason I want to cover a book series with commentary of Dr. Sleep, because I do believe it's actually a lot shorter. But movie-wise, they're both super long movies. I think they're equal, but it's totally different. It's the same. It's the perfect sequel. It's the perfect companion film.
Yeah.
But it's totally different. You're not going to get that slow Stanley Kubrick filming style. It is not Kubrick-esque at all. I mean, you get references to Kubrick, like aesthetically, but it's just not Kubrick. So if you're expecting Kubrick, expect somewhere else. You're not going to get Kubrick. You'll get little Easter eggs of Kubrick, but no. No one beats Kubrick, dude. I think it's equal. I don't like one more than the other. I think actually they're the perfect fucking puzzle piece companion. Like, you honestly need to watch both. Because it definitely sums up the story and finishes it off perfectly. But it's a totally different film. It has a totally different feel.
Yep.
That's why I liked it. So
Yeah.
if you're a huge fan of The Shining and you're expecting The Shining, you're not going to get it. Go in open-minded watching this. Do not expect The Shining. You're going to get hints, and it's going to have a little bit of a Shining feel every now and then, but totally different film, totally different story, totally different pace. it's not The Shining, but they're perfect for each other. It's a perfect
Yeah.
companion piece. Just a little heads up, I will cover Doctor Sleep, most likely, knock on wood, as my next read along with commentary. I don't know if I'm willing to cover The Shining. I'm not gonna lie. The Shining is like that fucking thick, dude. That was back when Stephen King was drinking and doing cocaine. So, of course, the book is that fucking thick because he was doing cocaine. He's admitted that. And Doctor Sleep, now that he's sober, is like super slim compared to The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
It is so fucking long. I don't know. That'll be a hard one to tackle. I don't know if I can't. I'm not ready for that one yet. As far as like reading and commentarying on it, it'd be like a 500 episode series. Doctor Sleep, I can do that one next though. 1 through 10.
7.
Oh wow. I give high ratings, you guys know that, and I've actually admitted it that I'm super easy to please. I give it a 10. 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting like an 8 or a 9, but it actually was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And I tried to go in, like I said, with an open mind. She had watched it years ago when it first came out. And I was like, yeah, I could see myself getting into it. But okay. When it first came out, I didn't want to watch it because I didn't know that Stephen King had actually written the book that it's based off of. So I was expecting that someone did like a Blade Runner sequel, kind of like that shit. I didn't know that it was canon. And I'm kind of a purist when it comes to that shit. Like, if it is not the will of the creator who created it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
You know, when the sequel for Blade Runner came out, I was like, I don't even want to watch it because Philip K. Dick is dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his work. This is an actual work of Stephen King. So once I figured it had his approval and shit, I was like, okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10, dude. Especially if you're a conspiracy theorist, go check it out. It's fucking awesome. I could feel myself getting like teary-eyed at times just from reminiscing. Shelley Duvall, my crush, did just pass away. I loved Shelley, man. That was like, I love you, boo-boo. But that's my celebrity crush. Like,
I know it.
if I had a time machine, yeah, I would have married Shelley Duvall. So I could see, like, because the actress who played Shelley did a really good fucking job. Like,
Yeah.
there was at one point, it fooled her of, like, when Shelley's holding the butcher knife hiding behind the door, they reenacted that, and it didn't fool me because I know Shelley, but she was like, that was the original footage. I'm like, no, it wasn't, honey. That was a reenactment. Like, the actress who played Shelley did a real good job getting the body language of the lankiness and shit. Even her voice, like, there's one part where she's like, Danny! And I was like, dude, that sounded just like her, man. That was pretty good.
And all breathy.
The black man, too, the man, I don't remember the character's name, but he's got the shine also.
I can't remember.
He sounds and looks just like the dude from the original Shining. And he does this thing, if you remember, if you know, you know, if you've seen The Shining. He does this thing with his bottom lip in the movie The Shining. He goes, he does it in this movie too, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, this guy's got it down, dude.
Yeah.
The only huge actor in the movie was Ewing. Everyone else was like up and coming, which is cool. I like to see that, you know. We could have went a lot much deeper, but she's crashing hard. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. Go check the movie out. If you've seen the movie, talk about it with me in the comments. And that's all she wrote. See ya.